thanks for sitting down with me today.
No problem.
Great to see you here in Montreal.
Yeah.
Busy days.
Very busy.
Very busy days. Lauren, can you talk to me a little bit about your strategy as it relates to problem solving? I think one of the hallmarks of successful leaders these days is problem solving. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you tackle that?
Sure. Well, I'm new, so I wouldn't put me in the leadership category yet, but maybe one day if I keep on that problem solving. So I think one of the things that's great about my education, so I did law school, and I didn't necessarily like law school, but the one great thing I will say about it is that it taught me how to get through a problem. So somebody comes to you with an issue, and you have to work your way logically through it to see the end. And now that I'm not just confronted with legal problems, I'm more confronted with strategy and just overarching pictures. It's still, okay, like, let's break that down and follow it to its logical end. So that's my method in problem solving. It's kind of just now a training that I have. I don't know if it's necessarily something that I think about. It's how my mind works.
Right. And I would think in your role, one of the key roles you're going to play is consensus building. How do you get everyone kind of on that same page, heading in the same direction?
Yeah.
Got any tricks or tactics you can share with me?
Sure. Well, I'm maybe going to get a little gooey about my love for words. So I think that words are magical. It's kind of cool that anything can pretty much be solved by words. Mediation is an art form, and I like the art form. I'm intrigued by it. I don't know if I practice it, but basically mediation is you've got one set of words on this side encompassing your argument. I've got another set of words on this side encompassing my argument. And there's always a way, once you cross out the words that don't match up, you're left with something. So that's consensus building to me.
Not always easy to do.
Yeah. No, but so like a couple of tools, tactics, tricks that you asked for. So listening. There's always, perhaps it comes back to that problem solving skill, is what is the root of the issue? And I don't necessarily think the root is just always business. Sometimes it's emotional. And so getting to that root of the issue and being honest as a person asking those questions, for better or for worse, I have quite an honesty policy. And so just saying, I don't think you've gone quite far enough in that analysis, so am I hearing this? And giving people that opportunity to really share how they feel.
Right. And checking back in with them what I heard you just do there was check in with them to see if you've got it right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that shows you're listening. Hopefully it allows them to bring their barriers down a little bit, because that's what's needed for consensus building. I also, tips and tricks, I guess, I think about people as generally wanting good things. Everyone wants good things. And so you just have to find what motivates that person.
True that. Yeah, that's awesome. Sorry, I got sidetracked there because I'm just thinking about that, because I do a lot of that myself. I have to play that role a lot, and I'm learning new things every day. So that's why I like talking to people like you that know how to do it. So cool. All right, so grew up in Southern Ontario.
Yep.
Farm girl.
Farm kid for life.
Yeah. You've worked on national and international issues as they relate to agriculture.
Yep.
You interned at the UN.
Yes.
How cool was that?
It was awesome. There's a lot of biblical, or not even biblical, but just monumental references about Rome. So in my head, I like to think all roads lead to Rome, which is something that I don't know where that's from, but so my journey led me to Rome. I hope it brings me back there again. I worked in Mussolini's office building. I passed by the Colosseum every day on my way to work. So how could it not be a positive experience? It was a dream.
It was awesome. And so everyone that I've ever known that they've found those kind of hollowed walls to be like they touches you somehow.
Yeah.
How a word woman like yourself, what words do you use? How do you describe it? Like, 'cause walls are walls, but they're not.
So I am actually, again, I am gonna get wordy, because as soon as you asked me that question, I was like, oh, so it's the way the sunlight hits in Rome. I don't know if I've traveled to a couple different countries. but I've never quite seen the way the sunlight hits in Rome. It's like here in Canada when you have a long summer's day, and in late July, early August, when that light gets warm and it's just kind of like this across, that's what Rome is. So if it touches the walls, I don't know, my pictures or my mind's eye is like that light washing everything.
Awesome. Well said. Well said. I like your package of words.
Thanks.
Lawyer by training.
Yeah.
You've been practicing law for 4 years?
Oh, I practiced law for just over 2.
2 years.
So
okay.
really not very long whatsoever.
So I have a very technical question for you, though.
Yeah.
What's your favorite lawyer joke?
None of them. That's my answer.
Not even going to give me one?
No.
Oh, I thought for sure busload of lawyers.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Okay.
No.
So practicing law, what was the key takeaway?
The training of the way I now think, and I don't think I noticed that my thought process was different as a result of that training until I came out of law and started working with non-practicing lawyers or non-practicing individuals.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it like a blatant, obvious distinction?
It's just, so you know there's some people out there, as an interviewer, you yourself might come across these people who, when you ask them a question, they kind of scatter in a number of different ways. And that might be blatantly obvious. So, and these people might find me disconcerting because for whatever reason, I kind of can't follow that path. And I can't help myself from reeling back and just saying, okay, so, and bringing them back to that next point because I want to get through their thought pattern, but for whatever reason, and this is tough, so maybe I might be tough to communicate with, I don't know, you can ask my colleagues. I need to get to that next step, and I need them to go further in a linear fashion. So in that sense, it's blatant, but then there are other individuals who are very linear in their thought processes as well.
Right. I would think that process would serve you pretty well in the problem-solving world.
Yeah, I think that it has, and it's kind of a, so another, the law is, if you like it, great, good for you. I found it a little bit stifling, and so for me, with that linear fashion, I can be creative with it in this role. As a lobbyist, as an advocate, as a problem solver, you get to explore people's minds and people's thoughts and just like channel it in a certain way. And that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You like being outside?
Yeah.
Skiing, hiking, horses?
Yep. Yep.
What is it about horses? Because I know, like, people that are into horses are into horses.
Yeah.
What is it about horses that helps you in your relationships, professionally and personally?
Good question, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about Henry. Henry's my horse, and he was my first like baby. My mom had horses growing up, but I was never the mom. And I got him when he was 3 years old, so completely untrained, and I've taken him to where he is now, which is not as far as I'd like, but what are horses teaching me? Okay, patience. And then also concentration and focus, because if I'm having a bad day, if Henry's not doing exactly what I want him to, it doesn't matter. He's in his own head, and I've still got to be in control of both of us, do what's best for both of us. And then so in that sense, too, it's teamwork.
Right.
And because he's a pain in the butt, he also teaches me perseverance.
Nice. That's a pretty good package. I'm giving Henry a high five.
Thanks.
Nice. Nice. You got lots of schooling behind you, and I'm curious of one thing that you learned in school that when you got out into the real world turned out to be not so much the case.
This is going to be a little bit negative again, but lawyers don't make as much money as you think they do.
Right.
But I'll say that just because, so there's all these lawyers' jokes and there's all these, oh, you know what, here's something that's not true. Lawyers aren't out there to get your money. They are professionally bound, ethically bound to do what's right for you, the client. So it's very interesting when I come across people, even my own mother, who say, oh, I don't want to take that advice. They're just looking for business. Okay, sure. I mean, Mom, I'm not looking for your business, but normally they're not. Like if you've got a losing business, they don't really want to help you. Like, they're not there to take your money. They're there to help people.
Gotcha. Well, that is a good one, because I think that any of us that use them on a regular basis realize how valuable it is to the process, for sure. So, in the seed industry now for
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what's the first takeaway? About the seed industry in general?
This industry is like family. Everybody is connected somehow, and through my involvement, I've actually found more connections to my roots than I have since the 12 years than I have in the 12 years since I've left home, which was Chatham, Kent. So there's a number of members here who know my dad, maybe even know my grandparents if they thought hard enough. I met a friend from elementary school who I haven't seen in a decade, a person who worked at my high school. It's like family.
Right.
And then beyond that, I'm hearing stories about people who have grown up in CSTA, have made lifelong friends as a result of being a child in the youth program. So it's like family.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate your time.
Awesome.